Hello everyone, welcome to our YouTube channel Electronics Maddie. In this video, I'm going to demonstrate simulation of bidirectional buck boost converter in MATLAB Simulink. In case you haven't subscribed to our channel, please do subscribe to it so that you'll be getting the videos that we post regularly. Alright, let's get into our topic for today. This is the circuit diagram, basically the MATLAB model of bidirectional buck boost converter. So what are we trying to do with respect to this circuit? We have two batteries over here and over here. So this battery is associated with buck mode of operation and this is associated with boost mode of operation. So what I'm trying to say is there are two switches. This switch corresponds to boost operation, this switch corresponds to buck operation. Carefully try to analyze the circuit from this. If you are assuming this as a normal DC source, you'll be having an inductor connected in series, you'll be having a switch connected, and then there is a freewheeling diode as well. So assume that there is a freewheeling diode, and again the path gets through the load in this particular fashion. This acts as the load for the boost converter. And again, if you see this circuit from this direction, if you're considering this as your DC supply and you're giving as an input to this particular switch, you have an inductor in the load side, and consequently you have another load over here in this particular fashion, and this operates as a buck converter. So buck mode of operation is achieved at this point, boost mode of operation is achieved at this point. So we can conveniently say that this is a buck boost converter. So bidirectional converter, you can convert power from one value to another value by suitably adjusting the operation in which the circuit has to operate. So let us go to MATLAB and start our simulation over there. Alright, here we are in MATLAB. So click on Simulink library browser and search for the blocks that we want. So MATLAB has an extraordinary feature where we can search for the components that we want. So search for PowerGuve block, which is basically the compiler of a circuit. So add that, and once that is done, add a voltage measurement block as well. Once that is done, we'll be requiring a battery, so which is basically the heart of our circuit. So search for battery and use this particular battery. And once that is done, we'll be requiring a series RLC branch. So search for series RLC and add this block. Apart from that, we will be requiring MOSFET switch. So search for MOSFET and you'll be getting it right at the bottom. Choose the ones that are there in black because that is associated with power systems and power electronic applications. And the ones that are there in blue are prominently used for digital signal processing and DSP applications. So once that is done, our next step is to add the components with respect to the display. So we need a display block. Search for display and you'll be getting it over here. Add this block. We need a scope in order to see the waveform as well, so add that block as well. So once all of these blocks are added, let us now look into the feedback path where we have to establish a closed loop system. So we will be requiring a constant block. So search for constant and add that block. Apart from that, we will be requiring a PID controller. Search for PID controller and that will be available right at the top. Add that block as well. Apart from that, we'll be requiring a PWM generator, so which is basically a DC to DC generator. So be very careful, choose this one, not the other ones, because they're not associated with the required output with respect to the circuit. So they are used for different purposes. So I'm not going in deep with respect to it, but we have to add this particular block. Once that is done, we have added all the blocks other than the sum block. Search for sum and you'll be getting subtract over here. You'll be getting all the other blocks as well. You can suitably select a one that is suitable to your circuit. You can use this and change it to plus and minus as well. You can use this and change it to plus and minus as well. No matter, like, it doesn't matter if you use this particular block or this particular block. Everything is okay with respect to the circuit. So we have added the blocks that we want with respect to our circuit. So let us start placing them in appropriate position so that we can get started with our circuit diagram. So we will be requiring a couple of battery sources. Let us copy paste them and let us place the PowerGuve block right at the top. Once that is done, rotate this, place this in this particular position and disable the measurement port, and I'll be requiring another switch in this particular fashion. So this is for boost operation, this switch is for buck operation. So you can try to analyze the circuit individually. I have made videos on working of individual buck and boost converters, and I've also designed circuits with respect to buck and boost converters in both open loop and closed loop, so you can refer to that as well. I'll be requiring an RC, so basically we need to use a capacitor here, but connecting a battery in directly with respect to the parallel points, if you're taking tapping at this point, connecting a capacitor in parallel with the battery will throw you an error. That is why I'll be using RC branch, and the value of resistance will be chosen to be very small such that it does not play a huge role, although there will be some amount of effect because of it, because of its value. But nevertheless, you have to add a RC branch in parallel with the battery, otherwise it will be throwing you an error. Once that is done, copy paste this. We'll be requiring an inductor, so double click on this, choose an inductor of value of 1 millihenry, and we'll be connecting it in this particular fashion. So at this point we'll be connecting this, and once that is done, I'll be connecting this between these 2 points, this particular fashion. And you can rotate this block, and you can give the battery between these 2 points. And in this particular fashion, we'll make the connection again. With respect to this, I'll be connecting this between these 2 points after the capacitor. So directly we'll get to know what is the voltage that is charging with respect to the like the batteries. So we need a bus selector block as well. We have missed out on that. So search for bus selector and add that block. So over here we can choose voltage and current that we want to see, or you can only choose voltage based on your requirement. So I'll be placing this at this position. Double click on this, choose delete these signals, and add voltage alone, and click on OK. Once that is done, you can directly see the voltage that is available over here in the display block. So what is the charging voltage that is available at this point, you can determine that. Once that is done, we will be copy pasting this block over here, and I'll be rotating this by using Control R option, and I'll be connecting this over here. Again, we can double click on this. Voltage is already available because we've previously chosen it for that, and we have copy pasted it. So use the display block in this particular fashion. Apart from that, one important thing to note is nominal voltage here. Let me give it as 80 because this is associated with boost converter operation. Let us say the current is 7 amps, initial state of charge let it be 100. So over here, let us say that the voltage at this point is 10 volt, which is slightly lesser because this is buck operation. Like over there it is 80, over here it is 10, so that this ensures buck operation. So it has a nominal voltage of about 10 volt to charge. It will still have 10% tolerance in practical applications where you can charge it up to 13 volt or 14 volt, so based on the requirement. But however, that will spoil the battery capacity. But in simulation it still has the ability to charge beyond that point. So don't get confused if you're getting voltage much more than 10 or much more than 80, because the tool is being designed such that it can accept any values, and that is why we go for simulation, isn't it? So once that is done, I'll be giving this block, the constant block over here, that decides the voltage that we want to. Let us say I want a voltage of about 85 volt at the output, and I'm giving it over here. And let me measure the voltage at this point, that is the boost converter point, in this particular fashion. And let me give the value that is being measured to the scope, and let me give the value of the output voltage at this point. So let us delete this. So I've connected it over here, so it will compare with the reference value, whatever voltage that you're supposed to get, enter that here, and it will adjust its value accordingly. Give it to a PID controller, double click on PID controller. So there are various procedures in which you can design it. So I'm not using a proportional controller, I'm only using an integral controller with a value of 7. So you can design it based on Laplace transform approach and many other techniques that are available, so totally based on your requirement. And once that is done, I'll be giving it to the the PWM generator, which basically generates the pulses to the boost converter part of the switch. Again, we'll be requiring a similar configuration, isn't it? So I'll be copy pasting this, I'll be placing this right underneath this, and that is required for the buck operation. I'm just establishing a closed loop. You can simulate this only with open loop as well, but just to ensure that it operates in closed loop, because it provides better reliability with respect to the circuit simulation part, I'm using that. So that is given to the boost converter. The constant value should be around 10 volt or 12 volt, so based on that you can give. So once that is done, we'll be requiring a measurement block to measure the voltage that is available at this point. Between these two terminals we'll be measuring, and the voltage measured will be given to a scope. So copy paste the scope, and I'll be giving it to the scope in order to see the waveform. The voltage that is obtained will be taken as a tapping from this point, and it will compare with the constant reference value that is set, and the PID controller is already copy pasted, so the value will remain as 7. So this is how we'll be able to justify that closed loop operation will provide better results. So I made a video with respect to closed loop mode of operation as well, with respect to buck converter and boost converter individually. In case you haven't watched that, you can watch that, because that gives you a greater idea with respect to the circuit simulation aspect. So now let us set the simulation time to 1 seconds, because um, it only requires to show whether the battery is charging or not. So click on run simulation. It does take some time for the simulation to run. So we have simulated it, and if you carefully observe, we're getting around 12 volt with respect to the buck operation, and with respect to boost operation we're getting slightly higher, that is 93 volt. So basically we have to go on with the proper design. I'm not gone in with a proper design procedure. So if you choose the inductor value and capacitor value such that this should be the desired output voltage, then you will definitely get it. And as I told you, the battery has a capacity of withstanding 10% tolerance with respect to the value that is being designed. So 85 means 10% of it, 8 plus 8 volts. So it will be having the ability to at least withstand 93 volts. So we're getting 93 volts. Let us double check by seeing the output waveform. So this is the output waveform that we're getting, and it is constant. You're getting a lot of ripples, but you can further reduce this by using suitable value of capacitor. So you're getting buck boost operation over here, and if you carefully observe, you're getting 12 volts. So battery is getting charged to a voltage of about 12 volt, and buck operation is also obtained. So if you want to operate this individually to see only buck operation or boost operation, you can program this using a controller, or you can use an OR gate and check for conditions. Only this should be operating and only this should be operating. So based on your requirement, you can do it. But this is how you will be justifying bidirectional converter operation, that is buck boost operation. I think you would be able to simulate the circuit on your own, and the working of it is understood. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out by typing in your questions in the comment section below. If you like this video, please do like it, share it, and subscribe to our channel for regular updates. Thanks for watching this video. Please do keep supporting. Thank you.